I apologize in advance for having to leave very soon. So the positive side is I think there'll be less time between now and lunch for you. I'll try to wrap this up in a few minutes and maybe just spend a minute or two on interaction. When I was walking up, actually, I spend a lot of time on Twitter, and so there's this interesting tweet by Prime Minister Modi that digital transactions are up 23 times, worth 2,500 crore in March. He's just tweeted this 5 minutes ago. There was another tweet just before this, not from the Prime Minister but from somebody else, reporting queues in Mumbai. 18 queues have started again. In fact, not just in Mumbai but a lot of places. So interesting dynamics here. So there's still a very high demand for cash. Yet I think what we've seen in the last 6 months is there's this realization, the reduction, the removal of 500 and 1,000 rupee notes out of the system, and for a significant period of time, and recurring every now and then, a reduction in the cash availability in cycle. I want to spend just a little bit of time on the technology and the payments side of things. We've heard a lot about financial inclusion. Okay, we haven't yet come to payments, which I think the entire arena kind of merges very well with financial inclusion. Why? I think one very fundamental thing today is the technology, the role that technology plays. Financial inclusion, I think it's been pretty well accepted, although we don't automatically equate financial inclusion with technology. In the sense we don't consider it a prerequisite, because financial inclusion as a term has been around for a very long time. But you'll see today that in terms of delivery of financial inclusion, it's kind of difficult to do it right now without technology. And a lot of the focus of whatever is happening today in financial inclusion is centered around technology, although it may be actually in terms of delivering banking to the unbanked, delivering the PMJDY schemes, whatever it is. But if you see some of the cornerstones of how these services are delivered, it's on a technology foundation. If you see, for example, how entitlements and benefits are going to be delivered, let's address these two. As far as the payments system is concerned, currently there is a restriction at the regulatory level between, the payment providers are delighted to connect to each other. Right now they can't. They are only able to transfer in and transfer out money to a bank into and from a registered KYC account. Okay, they do not have any other option right now, no cash in, no cash out, no transfer to another PPI. This has been recommended in a very interesting panel report by the Wattle Committee on the 8th of December, and I urge you to take a look at those recommendations. We are hoping that many of those recommendations will gradually come into play. As far as Paytm and other PPIs redressal of grievances is concerned, I think currently we are finding that this is an issue which is there across multiple PPIs as well as UPI, because UPI, again, a lot of people have brought in issues. So by the way, we've helped run this helpline called 14444, which ran for 3 months pro bono. And we get a lot of complaints. A lot of complaints are about Paytm, UPI, Beam, etc. I've transferred money, but it's not gone. What do I do? This is something that the PPIs need to address, because it's an existential issue. If there are enough complaints which don't get resolved, then they will suffer. By the way, Paytm does have a helpline. They've got about 400 people answering a helpline, which is a 1-800 number and all of that. And I know a lot of people can't get through to that helpline. But this is a very fundamental issue that they need to address, and very often the problems are not at the PPI level but at the bank level. Do you know that there is a 3-day SLA for a transfer of money over IMPS, which is supposed to be instant? So sometimes that extreme 3-day is actually utilized. So you've got a debit, but you're not seeing a credit, and you think it's the PPI's fault. It could be the bank, I think. As far as the access goes, very simply, I think we have a huge issue. That's a completely separate debate, but we don't have a very easy way to get 1 billion Indians online, because beyond the first 300 million, the other 700 million, there are literacy levels which are low, and their ARPU levels, the average revenue per user, which is very low. So therefore, their consumption is going to be less text and far more multimedia. And that's the same problem with our assumption of many of the services. USSD, for example, is supposed to be a easy, well, not easy, but a payment means, but it requires literacy. It requires very high level of literacy.
Paytm and now the Bhim app have actually tried to simplify that. But when you go further down that pyramid, you have a real challenge in how to deliver multimedia and multimedia training facilities, etc. That requires spectrum beyond what is available in the licensed spectrum. That is where I think there is a lot of reliance on things like BharatNet at the backbone, but then we don't know what's going to happen at the front end, because BharatNet has currently gone to about 30,000-40,000 villages and Gram Panchayats in terms of fiber being lit, but not necessarily in terms of actual usage, and there's still a couple of 100,000 to go. Once that happens, and if there is a business model, one would expect to see Wi-Fi or V-band or E-band or one of the unlicensed spectrums actually filling this gap for 700 million Indians or maybe 600 million Indians. Okay. Thank you very much. I really apologize.